Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. As some of you might know, today is the Chaos Clash tournament hosted by CA, and it's the tournament between the content creators on Total War Warhammer's new Domination mode. And I decided to participate, and these are my first 2-round games, and we're going to do a little bit of review of each of them. In this one, we're going to be doing our first round game against Lazi Boi Gamer. We played a matchup between Slaanesh versus Khorne. I'm Slaanesh. And we're going to first introduce the mode and the rosters before we hop into the game and actually watch a replay, as I will do some commentary and review of my own gameplay, which is not great because we're relatively new to the Warhammer multiplayer scene, and Domination is definitely a new thing for everyone. So we brought a Herald of Slaanesh, a basic lord. We scaled her down quite a bit. The ability here is not accurate of what I brought. I only brought Malkoth as an ability that targets a unit, it locks onto them, deals damage to 25 units in a retinue. So if the unit has 100, then only 25 of them will take damage. If they have 16, then 16 of them will take damage. If they only have 1, then only 1 of them will take damage. So you maximize your damage against units that are around 25 men left, and you tick 63 to 125 damage per second on them for 14 seconds, which is quite a lot of damage actually. So this is actually a very decent spell against large monsters in essence, so I'm really just targeting these spawns most of the time to take their health down a little bit using that spell. And then for mobs, I have the Pendulum, which basically is a rectangular shaped spell that will dish damage in a zone, having a pendulum throw itself down for 2 seconds. For a nice bit of burst damage, good against clumps of units, and this is going to be a key spell that we will try to use against the infantry that he's bringing. Lastly, a spell that's not even on here, it's ability that we have, and I don't think it's actually, it's not listed here for some reason on the replay file, but he can summon 2 Chaos Furies. That's basically a summoned unit that you can use, and that's quite nice. And I also have a mount on him, so he's riding a Seeker, and that's why we're a bit fast at 100 speed. We also will have the Slaanesh Devastating Flanker, so our charge bonus will get doubled if we come in from the flank. Good weapon damage, but we're a single entity with very low health, mainly a spellcaster. Then for the rest of the roster, how the game works is there is a starting army, and there are reinforcement units that you select into a pool. And as the battle commences, you fight over 3 objectives to get points for the ultimate victory. You can spend resources passively gained in battle to buy reinforcement from the pool you selected before battle. So these are the units I picked. I can pay their cost and summon them at select reinforcement points and have them join the fight. So you want to look at what your opponent have on the field. If they have a ton of infantry, then maybe you pick something that's anti-infantry. If they have a lot of single entities or large units, you pick something that's anti-large, and you kind of play off each other and take control of these points until you finally hit 5,000 points and you win the battle. So that's how Domination mode works. Now in terms of what Lazi Boi Gamer brought, he decided to go with Exalted Bloodthirster. This thing can fly, it's a flying monster with very good attack power, and I'm planning to just stay away from this guy. Give him something to fight, something that's a meat shield unit that we have, let him kill it slowly, and we're just going to wear it down and get the control points, because every unit have different capturing weight. Flying unit have 0 capturing weight. They cannot capture points even if they land. Infantry has the most, and then I believe it's cavalry and then monstrous infantry. I could be wrong on the ordering of the final 2, but I know infantry has the most capture weight. So we're just trying to flood the points early on, get the points under our control, and then use our speed, because Slaanesh is all about mobility and flanking. All our units are quite fast. We're going to use our speed to pick on their reinforcements and weak points. If they're not guarding one of the points, we're going to try to sneak it. That's kind of our plan for the battle. His plan is just brutality. Khorne is just about strong units coming up and fighting. He brought a lot of infantry, 2 blood shrines, so 2 chariots with different buffing abilities as well. So nearby units will gain melee attack, and then he will also heal as long as he's in melee. So it's a very annoying single entity unit to deal with, but we're going to hopefully lock it down with some of our anti-large cavalry and just get rid of it. Aside from that, most of his army are infantry, except for one shock cavalry unit here, a couple hounds, and then obviously Spawn, which we brought as well. So Spawn is just unbreakable, monstrous infantry that's quite good at holding points. He also brought a spellcaster, the Cultist, which I know can summon bloodletters. Yes, he can summon one bloodletter. Aside from that, I actually don't know how effective they are. So we'll see if he used that, because you might not be able to summon everything from your reinforcement, and you might choose to not summon something. And as unit die, so for example, if my Fiend here dies early, it'll be sent back to the reinforcement pool. There'll be a cooldown period where this takes to recover, and then you can pay the cost and summon it again. So basically everything here is available to me, and at most I can summon all of them according to how many copies I have onto the field, assuming none of them die, well, which is not happening, but that's how the match works. So let's hop into game here and see how it played out. And we're going to introduce the map. It's a very simple map for round 1. They pick Broken Leg Galley. It's 1, 2, 3 points, with point 1 closer to them, point 3 closer to me. Big valley in the middle, cliffs on both sides with ramps coming down for flanking angles. 2 Vanguard deployment points. So these are Vanguard deployment unit only that can be summoned here. And these are the standard reinforcement point. They can summon any of your units. As Slaanesh, not only are we fast, most of our cavalry have Vanguard deployment, so we can get them closer to the points as we summon them. That's another advantage. So I quite like that. But for weaknesses, there's plenty. We're very fragile. None of our units have high armor. And we don't have any range. There's absolutely 0 range in the Slaanesh army. So we're going to have to fight this one up close in melee. So in the beginning, I'm just sending in the infantry clusters, meat shield to occupy the point, trying to capture it. He's got his flying monster here very fast, the chariot right behind. Both of them are good against infantry, but it's not like I have anything right now that could deal with them, so I'm going to offer them some infantry to fight and just try to grab the points, which becomes unlocked in 3 minutes. He sent some flyers up here, and his Chaos Warriors. He's sending actually everyone to point 1, which is interesting. I think Lazi Boi told me at the end that he had the misconception that he needed to capture all 3 points to secure the win, which is why he kind of split his units a little bit. But I still think it went pretty standard. Alright, so his unit's getting into it. Look at that. Drifting unit. It didn't drift in the middle, which thank God. But we're just going to give him our tanky meat shield unit to just hold them down. We're not throwing anyone up there, you know. These are our anti-large units. We're kind of going to wait and have them pinned down. So he's fast, so we're going to have the cavalry version go pin him down, and then the infantry will move up slowly. I did do a spell over there, if you caught it, a pendulum spell. That was the pendulum swing, and we did about a quarter health. It's not bad. That's pretty much the expected value. He's trying to occupy the point, which is good, and that's fine. We're just going to give him 1 unit to kill at a time, and have enough units on the point to have more capture weight, and thus capture the point. I think that's kind of our objective here. We're shifting the other anti-large unit away. We're shifting the infantry away now that we have the chariot pinned down with our anti-large cavalry unit. And we're going to try to bring it down slowly. The thing still has quite a bit of health. Alright, we're going to shift everyone up. We're a spellcaster. We're not going to get our hand dirty. I think I'm trying to shift this unit up here so we can get the capture there once it does unlock. But he might not let me, so we're just going to engage them. And our fiends are finally flanking. I hide them in the forest, but they actually can't hide because they're monstrous. But as I charge down, he cut me off with his hounds, which are also really, really fast. So this group is going to get beaten down a little. I'm going to try to force them to get out because it's just not a good fight. Alright, our fiends are actually not bad against monsters like Bloodthirster, but he's going to fly away. And we're just going to try to flank this 1 unit of Chaos Warriors, try to get rid of them quickly. We have basically him flanked from all angles, even the Lord's coming in to help. And you can see the points slowly becoming mine, because I just have more units on here with capture weights than he does. And as I realized that, I'm just going to stall his reinforcement here and block him outside of the square. His chariot can't escape us. It's doing decent damage to us, by the way. So it's a hard matchup for us, but we're just trying to pin him down here as much as we can. It's better that he's spinning on us than spinning on infantries, to be honest. Alright, seems like we have this line pretty controlled. There is one issue, though. I did not realize how sticky the guard mode was. So my units will oftentimes not chase and stand still after a fight, which is a little bit annoying. I will slowly turn it off as I realize that. Alright, so I ended up sending one cavalry unit from the Vanguard deployment to hold this point. He sent one cavalry that is much stronger than our one cavalry, so he's going to beat us down. I shifted them back a little bit so that I'm trying to keep him outside the square. Going to bring some reinforcement here, Chaos Furies to do some damage. In the end, we're going to need some anti-large unit. As you can see, Slaanesh unit gets shredded. We're just very fragile. He has 130 armor. We have 15. So it's not a match. We're trying to get a flanking angle here. We'll do it eventually. Back over here. Chariot's still getting pinned down. About to die though. His leadership is basically tanked up and he's going to actually burn away because I think he's demonic. Yeah, the big monster is tough to deal with, but everything else is getting killed and the point is ours, so that's happy ending for us. He ended up pulling all his infantry over. He had one routed unit, the hounds recover back, but that's going to leave this point pretty open. So we're going to actually try to sneak that point with some cavalry. That's kind of our strategy here. We're going to just absorb most of his attention in the middle, hold this point as best as we can, as you know, our Furies are chasing them down. And he didn't go for the point, so that was actually very fortunate for us. Even though he chased out one of our units, he didn't go for the points. The Furies are not going to win against the cavalry, but we're just buying time. Basically for supplies to send some sort of anti-large at him. But first the supplies are spent at the cavalry here, because I realized there's nothing guarding point 1, so we're going to try to grab it right here. It's all about point at the end of the day. You know, first one to 5,000 point wins. And this is our resource. It's passively 16 points per second, but if you are dealing burst damage, it slows down once you zoom in, but if you're dealing burst damage, you get small bonuses, as you can see. It doesn't last, so as long as we're doing good damage, he's burning up, so we're actually getting a good amount of extra income here. You see it goes away pretty fast as well. He wiped out our Furies as well, but he's still not going for the point, so this is super fortunate for us, and we're going to try to summon some anti-large infantry as soon as I decide that we have enough to hold this side, because we routed the Chaos Hounds, and we can now take that. That was a Pendulum, that little line, got some damage on them. Basically, we're just spamming spells as much as we can. I summoned the Chaos Fury, and I didn't send them down to harass this guy until now. That's one, the summon unit. They will slowly die off, so might as well use them. Have him pinned down with my own spawn, which is unbreakable. They're quite good at taking this out. He's sending in his spawn and his infantry, and I'm trying to flank his hounds right here. Spells don't work very well against hounds, so we're just trying to get our fiends to kind of sneak across and do a charge from behind. And these are going to be troublesome. He's going to get onto my infantry. I'm going to try to do a nice pendulum on his unit here. Hopefully that will hit. I think I remember it did. And we're slowly capturing this point. He's trying to retake it with his spawn, and I'm going to try my best just to keep him outside the box. That's the best we can do here. Alright, we're moving up. We're probably going to try to hit this before they hit our line. We're sending our own spawn, as well as more infantry just to hold. It seems like the Bloodthirster might actually go down at some point. Here's our spell, and you can see the pendulum come down. I think I put it a little bit ahead. If I put it a little bit behind, maybe it would have done slightly more than a quarter of the damage, but overall not bad. We're going to try to help out this unit here. I finally sent an anti-large infantry, so we're both on the point. I have more capture weight, so it's becoming my point. At the same time, I'm going to send some help. Nice little flank attack. Do some damage on their cavalry, and hopefully win this point, and then send everyone down here to flank and take the middle as well. He sent spawns. I can't really beat spawns, so that's the problem. He has more weight than me because he's technically a monstrous infantry versus a cavalry. So we're slowly losing this point, but backup is coming. So we're sending some more Hell's Riders, who might actually turn around and help over here because I realize I'm not beating the spawns with Hell's Riders. So we'll see. Our spawns are messing up his Bloodthirster, and we're keeping him in place with some Marauders. They're dying, but they're doing their job. And our new spawns have arrived to occupy their infantry. Their hounds are here against our fiends. I actually think fiends beat hounds. One of the few matchup that I think I know. And these are going to die to the anti-large in no time. Yes. I decided here, I'm like, I'm not beating the spawn, so I'm going to come here and wipe out the infantry with the rear flank. And then we're just going to get as many of our units that routed and came back to help out. So violent. Yeah, this rear charge is going to help quite a bit. And the Bloodthirsters should go down soon. We have the these are anti-infantry actually. Well, they're just here to die. The spawns are the one killing him. And I'm actually going to come back and dish out a spell on him as well, just to get him killed faster. He's already burning up because he's a demon. Alright, we won the battle over here, or I mean, we're going to win the battle over here. The rest of the routed units came back. We're just going to occupy his spawn a little bit. Our Fiend's going to harass the enemy infantry. And now it's just about holding the point. We have more riders here. They're all routed. We can flank those infantry when we can. He pulled the spawn away from this point and summoned more hounds, which actually means this point is now open. I have a routed cavalry that can come back and steal it, and I can probably back it up with another unit. We're just killing off the remaining Chaos Warriors here. I'm using the targeted spell, even though there's 70 of them, instead of 25 obviously, but I figure any damage would work because we're just trying to rout them, which did happen. And they summoned a couple hounds, so this should be a summoned hound actually, given the location. I actually don't see where his cultist is, but hard to imagine he's... Well, maybe he just forgot about them actually. This might be a paid hound. I did a spell on them, they're coming at me. We run away, we're fragile, get back into our infantry cluster. And with only hounds here, we should be fine. Yeah, our Fiends are good against hounds, our spawns are good against hounds. We have plenty of them right here actually. And you can see I'm sneaking the point. I summoned one more fresh House Rider, and then this one's weakened. He probably only had enough money to summon the Chaos Fury. They're quite cheap, 550. And the thing about this is, I can just ignore it, because flying unit have no capture weight. So unless he can just cleanly wipe me out before I take the point, which is happening really, really fast, he's not going to get this point back, and I'm going to be able to hold on to all 3 points a while, as he sent some, I think Exalted, oh no, just regular Bloodletters, which is anti-infantry, which is a great decision to kill off my mob, because I had anti-large unit here, and I didn't have much money either. I mean, I still have some, but I wanted to use it in the middle. I just ended up sending 2 more clusters of infantry just to hold him down. As long as he's outside the box, you know, we're happy. As long as I have more weight than he does, then I'm also happy. A couple of Fiends came here. Oh, the snow glows so hard. But yeah, Fiends coming in from the flank. Infantry just holding this line. I don't even need to worry about actually fighting them. As long as we hold that point, we're happy. Yeah, away from that snow. And the same logic here, I'm shifting all the units to the edge of the box just to make sure you can't capture. And we summon another Chaos Fury. You can tell they're summoned because of the glow on them. More spawns are coming, but as long as we don't let them touch the point, we're going to be fine. You can see the Chaos Fury doing work. We had a very injured House Rider. That one died. And this one, yeah, it's not going well either. Furies are pretty good, actually. Like I said, I probably should have brought more. He did have a pretty severe misplay. I think one of his spawns got sent over here chasing a unit and then never returned. So sometimes I guess guard mode is good. But in this case, no. He basically lost about 1,000 in value of a unit that's just not getting used. Alright, we cleaned up because we sent help. We sent spawns and we sent basically monstrous units to kill off those anti-infantry, and now everyone can come join and block aid the front. And at this point, there's just not enough of his unit left to forcefully take a point, and we happen to have all 3. I went and casted a spell on them, and they start losing leadership, which means they will burn up because they're demons. So they're taken care of. Nothing's threatening this point. I probably could just ignored it as well because they were never going to actually capture it, given their flying unit. We also have a few units who overchased, but that's fine. We're just dumping all the spells I have on the spawns, those target spells, and you can see it's just doing a little bit of damage. Anything helps, and we're just going to try to keep them off the points. That's the thing. And even if they get on the point, as long as we have more things on the point. Oh, I even bought a chariot. Yeah, the micro part of the chariot, not happening. Should be at least chasing down routed units like what they're doing, but we just kind of forgot about them as we won. We got the points, and that was it. I think we summoned it to help out with the infantry, but it kind of solved itself. So that was a good game. It went really well for us because we were able to pick good fights, I guess. We got the attention in the middle, focused on objectives, stole a few objectives pretty easily, and at the point that's closer to me, you know, whether I'm taking 1 or he's trying to take 3, it's easier for the defender to find the right units to come reinforce. And when he sent cavalry, I sent infantry. When he sent his anti-infantry, I sent some monstrous over to flank from behind. And that's kind of how I got that point. And if he had focused a little bit more on his own point in terms of reinforcement, it would have slowed down my victory pace. And maybe the middle might have mattered a bit more. Because once he lost the middle here at the end, it's kind of hard to retake. Given that we have plenty of spawns which are unbreakable. But yeah, Domination is quite fun. It's definitely a learning process. There's lots of factions in Warhammer, and everyone's unit play very differently. So the matchup are just very numerous to know which unit can beat which, and which unit you need to summon, which unit you need to bring. And it's a pretty nice experience. Now we're going to actually end this and take a look at the post-battle screen, which is super useful in Warhammer. So I can look at a unit. Not only do I know how many they killed, I can know exactly how much damage they dealt, as well as how much value per gold that I spent on the unit. So there's sort of damage dealt as gold value. The higher it is, the more value you got from the unit. So here our spellcaster dished out tremendous amount of damage. I think that's probably worth like 2 full units. And we got 1420 value. So that's the relative number that we can compare. And then for our fiends, a lot of flanking on these guys, even more value. Even though less damage, they're cheaper, thus more value. And similar case here, our tanky frontline unit, they dish no damage. Their job's to hold the line, and we're not getting as much value, even though they're pretty cheap. These are, I believe, are only 550. These are probably closer to 1,000 plus, 1,250, I think, and this is 2,000. Yeah, but this value is good because I just want them to occupy the enemy lord who dished out massive damage. You can see so much value from this, right? The Exalted Bloodthirster dished out a lot of damage, got a lot of value, but even though I lost the damage battle, I kind of won the objective battle. I think that's how I've been approaching these games because I don't know the matchup well enough to basically try to find the right unit. So I might as well play the map more than play the unit. At least that's how I've been seeing it. His infantry, getting decent value there. The anti-large did very well. Obviously, we had a couple fiends early on that he could fight. Chaos Furies, tremendous value. Yeah, I should have brought more Furies. And the Blood Shrine, which I don't think actually did well. Yep. Super expensive unit, got pinned down by our anti-large cavalry early on, and we really limited how much damage this thing was going to deal. Because he cannot run away from us, and that's pretty much how that worked. And we can look at reinforcements as well. So we summoned this, but we never used it at the end. Doesn't really count. The spawns. I think the spawns are really good. This one did battle. This one came late. I think that's the difference. And good value here. Our cavalry units, pretty average. I think these are our anti-large cavalry. And they did very, very well, actually. 0 kills. Huh. So this guy was probably chasing the chariot the whole time. That's my guess. Right? He's dishing out massive damage. Didn't kill the chariot at the end, because I think a lot of the Khorne unit burn up themselves, so it doesn't count as a kill. But we dished out tremendous damage, and that's what I think this unit did. Pretty similar damage profile, but different value here. Interesting. Our Chaos Fury. There's also 2 summoned Furies that we have that, you know, we're not going to see here. And then overall, nothing too crazy. I think everyone averaged out. The infantry, you know, held their line, did what their job's supposed to be. I don't think he summoned his cultists. I think his hounds were all bought. Right, so his infantry. Oh, this is his cavalry, isn't it? Yeah, the Skull Crusher of Khorne. It completely annihilated one of our cavalry, and then went ahead and killed off one of our Furies before getting killed by our anti-large. So I can see why he got so much value from this. Yeah, the hounds are good, especially the flesh hounds. Anti-magic and pretty fast, so they were able to cut off some of our units. His spawns, I think around what our spawn did, I think. Actually, one of our spawn did really well. I think this spawn is the one who killed the Bloodthirster, which is why the value is so high. But his had more kills, actually. Yeah, I don't think this was ever summoned. Maybe it was. I think he paid for the Chevron, the upgrade, but I don't think it was ever summoned. I don't remember seeing a second chariot, because he could easily summon the first chariot back once it dies. You know, that doesn't have to be the same one again. Anyhow, this was fun. I think this was a pretty good experience. We're going to have another video focusing on the round 2 matchup against Crabling, which I get smashed. But that's also a learning experience. We'll be playing as Slaanesh again, so trying to learn the roster one at a time. And that will be up against Kislev. So hopefully you enjoy this one, and we'll come back and check out that one later today. So until then, bye.